The Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason's amazing. I met a guy who
Nixon thing is wild.
Oh, absolutely. And Jackie Gleason told my buddy Jeff Sagansky, "Don't listen to what anyone ever tells you. I had 100% confirmation these things exist." He didn't say that the President Nixon drove me out to a base in Florida, but he told him, "Don't listen to anybody who says I know for a fact these things exist." That was really cool.
Looking through my files today, Jack, looking for some cases where there had been tangible evidence of the existence of these things. And I came across a case there at Campinas, Brazil in September of 1953, where about 8 or 9 ounces of pure tin fell out of one of these things, which was evidently in difficulty at very low altitude over the residential section of Campinas, which is about 250 miles inland from Sao Paulo, I believe. And the government collected this tin and closed off the neighborhood until they got it. It got over rooftops, bird holes, and clothing and everything else. It was dribbling out of the edge of one of these so-called saucers. Well, they publicly stated that this was tin from a flying saucer. They turned part of it over to our Air Force, and I know that a Dr. Meaning out in Ohio at Ohio College, Northern College, was one of those who analyzed the stuff.
Well, I understand that the Brazilian government does admit there are flying saucers, which is probably the only government that does admit.
I think you're right about that. They not only admit it, but they release pictures with their photographers.
Well, that's what I was just about to say. I spoke to Leonard Lyons, I think it was, you know, from the boat. And he had been on a junket or a trip down to Brazil. And he was in the presence of the guy that runs Brazil. And he had seen pictures of flying saucers. And I believe motion pictures.
Well, I'm sure they have motion pictures, and they search. Well, I know they do, and because they were taken by an official photographer for the Brazilian fleet about 2 years ago. They got quite a bit of. They got 35 millimeter motion pictures, and they got a lot of color pictures.
I recall the still photos.
Spherical thing moving along over the mountains along the coast.
Yes.
And the Brazilian government was quite frank in saying that this is an unidentified flying object. And, of course, it was only one of several.
Now, did you read the report in State Magazine of the New Guinea sightings?
Yes.
Of the priests who had seen them? And
yeah, in fact, 2 or 3 priests.
Reported that 4 or 5 seemingly human beings got up on top of the flying saucer and waved down to he and his flock.
They seemed to be responding to their gestures, according to...
They returned 3 or 4 days, and there were several of them.
Yes, I saw that.
And that he did a great deal of soul searching to find out that it tried to figure if this was hallucinatory, and he came to the final decision where it wasn't, and it was absolutely what he'd seen, because not only did he see it, but 30 or 40 of his flock saw it with him.
I have a copy of that original report, which runs to several single-space typewritten pages, and of course was considerably more in detail than what they printed in the magazine.
And of course there's the other story of the priest who saw the flying saucer that was called to the Vatican to report on it.
Yes.
I think it was in Italy. I might be mistaken about it.
There have been quite a few sightings over in Italy, and some very good ones.
Well, of course, there have been some phonies. Those guys leaning on the railing, for instance, looking at the...
That's that pyramid of Sicily.
Yeah, where their sight line is absolutely out of sync with the object they have.
They're supposed to see. Of course, you've seen the phony picture, I'm sure, of the spacecraft over the steel mill in Ohio.
Oh, yes, yes.
And every one of those things is nothing but a...
and also the one over Atlantic City.
Yeah.
How they threw a plate out the window. You know?
Well, the ones over Ohio, over the steel mill, are reflections between the elements of the lens. And each bright light has a little spacecraft on the opposite side of the negative pointing directly at it.
That's
they
right.
seem to have an affinity for a bright light.
I think probably the most believable manifestation of saucers was the motion picture in the picture. I think, was it called flying saucers or UFO?
UFOs, I believe. And this, I think you're talking about the
over the ball
taken by this, Great Falls, Montana.
Yes.
And then the movie's taken over the desert by Delbert Newhouse, this Navy Wardle.
Well, they only had one, I think it was the motion picture of the flying saucers flying over the ball field.
Uh-huh.
And if I remember correctly, it went behind the
water tower or something.
The water tower or something like that. And that was the end of the picture. I don't think they showed the other ones that you speak of.
Well, they were very good. They were taken in 16mm color by Delbert Newhouse, a Navy warrant officer near Tremont, Utah.
Well, where are those pictures now?
They've been released in some movie, and
Well, I haven't seen them.
I saw them in the original 16mm form, but I never saw them on the street. No, they were in some movie.
Well, now I'll tell you a strange thing that happened one time, and as much as I hate to do this, I can't mention the guy that we called up. But that has nothing to do with the story, as you'll hear. Ed Murrow and I went to Ed Murrow and I said, I think the biggest story in the world is flying saucers, if there are really such things. I said, now let's you and I do a documentary on flying saucers. I said, now who do you know in Washington that would know if there are flying saucers, or who would tell us that it's just a fool's gold and we should forget about it? And he says, I got the guy, General so-and-so. And we called the guy up. And the guy said to Ed, now look, don't get me in this thing. I don't want to get near it. It's too hot down here. I don't want to handle it. And you might as well forget about the project. You'll get no cooperation. And Murrow hung up the phone and he looked at me and he repeated what the guy said to him on the phone because I couldn't hear him actually. And he looked at me and he said, how about that? There are flying.
Jack, was this after 1952?
This was 1956, I imagine.
Well, now you see, in 1952, on 2 nights in July, these so-called flying saucers were over Washington. They were...
Yeah, I remember that.
All right. But what most people don't know is that on August the 13th, just 3 weeks later, there were 68 of them over Washington at one time on that night. I was right there in Washington at the time. I was on the mutual network. I had excellent contacts. But the lid of censorship was so tight that I knew nothing about this, and I'm sure that no other newsmen knew it either. And I knew nothing about it until 2 years later, when I happened, through a friendly official of the CIA, I got a copy of a document which they printed, how to identify and track unidentified flying objects. And this was put out to radar control men and pilots and others. And in there, they list all these 68 objects that were over Washington on that one night, August 13th, 1952.
Are we on? To those that may be listening to us, a couple of minutes ago, Jackie Gleason was talking on our beeper phone set up with Frank Edwards.
Is Frank still there, by the way?
Yes, he's still here, but he will be listening on the can. He can't enter into the conversation for a moment.
The Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason's amazing. I met a guy who
Nixon thing is wild.
Oh, absolutely. And Jackie Gleason told my buddy, Jeff Sagansky, don't listen to what anyone ever tells you. I had 100% confirmation these things exist. He didn't say that the President Nixon drove me out to a base in Florida, but he told him, don't listen to anybody who says I know for a fact these things exist. That was really cool.
Yeah, I'll show you Jackie Gleason's second wife. There she is. And she is the source of the story. And where's my Jackie Gleason file? Hang on. Oh, I don't want my property taxes. YouTube. Gleason Nixon. Okay, there we go. Now her name is Beverly McKittrick. Beverly McKittrick. Jackie's Gleason's relationship with Beverly McKittrick was the middle chapter of his 3 marriages, and it came late in his long first marriage saga. He's a practicing Catholic, and I think that, I think it would shake up anybody. If you actually saw the UFO, crash UFOs and the aliens, I mean, that would be pretty startling. But it really, I think it got to him. Gleason met Beverly around 1968 at a country club where she was working as a secretary. At the time, he was still legally married to his first wife, Genevieve Halford. Though that marriage had been troubled and effectively separated for many years, after Gleason's divorce from Halford became final in 1970, he married Beverly just 10 days later on July 4th, 1970 in Ashford, England. Now he has an England connection, Jackie Gleason and his lovely wife. Their marriage was relatively brief. Now here I'm doing my show now. Their marriage was relatively brief. By 1974, the relationship had broken down and Gleason filed for divorce. Some accounts say Beverly contested the split and asked for reconciliation. She loved the guy. But the divorce was granted on November 19, 1975. After the divorce, Gleason quickly married Marilyn Taylor. Okay, so I'm just giving you, okay, Beverly McKittrick Gleason is also remembered in UFO lore because after the split, she reportedly spoke publicly about Jackie, alleged story involving President Nixon and extraterrestrial bodies. Now, why would she make that up? She wouldn't make that up. I know they're divorced, but that doesn't hurt Jackie. It's just like, why would you, I believe it. I believe it. Okay, well, since I've gone this far, let's go to the legend. What is the legend? The Nixon-Gleason legend. Tell us, Lex. We've seen the second wife, we believe. The Nixon-Gleason alien legend is a story that President Richard Nixon secretly arranged for comedian and UFO enthusiast Jackie Gleason to see dead extraterrestrial bodies, usually said to be stored at Homestead Air Force Base in South Florida. It is a famous piece of UFO folk, I believe it, but the evidence is thin. The core claim rests mainly on Gleason's second wife, Beverly McKittrick Gleason, plus later secondhand retelling, but she's the source of it. All right, here's the basic legend. Here we go. The most common version says that in 1973, after Nixon and Gleason had been together in South Florida, Nixon arranged for Gleason to visit a secure building at Homestead Air Force Base. They're drinking buddies. How funny. This is so, it's crazy, but only in America. If you know the president, you get certain perks. There, Gleason allegedly saw several small alien bodies preserved in cases or glass-topped freezer-like containers. In some versions, Nixon personally drove him there at night. In other versions, Nixon merely arranged access. Gleason supposedly came home shaken, told Beverly what he had seen, and made her promise not to tell anyone. I think that's totally believable. And in fact, I think Spielberg's going to have it in his new movie. When they show some bodies in there, I think in the background, there's Nixon and Gleason there. But I'm not going to see the movie. The bodies are usually described as small, about 2 feet tall, bald or hairless, with large ears or unusual heads. Some later versions describe more gruesome, mangled children, like bodies or even UFO wreckage. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Now, why Jackie Gleason was connected to UFO lore? Gleason was not randomly attached to the story. He had a long-standing interest in paranormal and UFOs. There you go. Let's see, Open Minds. Now, Open Minds reported that his UFO-related library was donated to the University of Miami after death. The saucers that Time Forgot notes Gleason publicly spoke about ESP, UFOs, and psychic phenomenon. See, I really think, well, I won't tell you what I think. Not yet. I've said it before. I think it's all consciousness. We don't know what consciousness is. I think it's all consciousness. The universe itself is all consciousness. There's nothing there. It's just consciousness. Quoted, let's see, in late 60s, in a 1973 item quoted him saying he believed UFOs existed and that the U.S. government knew it. Oh, they know it. So the legend fits Gleason's public persona. A famous entertainer fascinated by UFOs, friendly enough with Nixon to be photographed golfing with him. Really? Do we have that? Do we have that? I wish I had a producer. Well, yeah, that was on the thumbnail, right? There they are. President Nixon and his drinking buddy, Jackie Gleason. We got 9 comments, thank you, but I got to get through this one right here. Apparently that photograph is February 19, 1973. Let's see, Nixon, let's see, here we go. the Nixon connection. Nixon owned property in Key Biscayne, and Homestead Air Force Base was part of his South Florida travel pattern for Nixon. The Saucers that time forgot notes that when Nixon visited his Key Biscayne, Florida White House, Air Force One commonly used Homestead Air Force Base. And Nixon sometimes played golf in Florida, including games with Jackie Gleason. Now picture this. They have a game of golf, and they talk about UFOs, and they're both having a drink. And then Nixon said, hey, you want to see something? I believe it. It's so crazy. I absolutely believe it. A documented public connection exists. Nixon appeared at the Jackie Gleason Inverie golf course tournament on February 19, 1973. And Gleason drove Nixon in a golf cart at the event. The date later became attached to the alien body legend, though the public diary only supports the golf event. Okay, well, I don't care about that. And then it goes back to Beverly McKittrick. The main source is Beverly Gleason's second wife, and I've showed you the picture. Said Jackie told her that he had been in South Florida with Nixon and had seen dead aliens. She said she believed him because he was convincing. And then he described, no, in other words, she believed her husband because he was convincing, and he described dead little men in cases. She also said Jackie became upset after she talked publicly about the story. All right. I guess we got 9 comments. Oh, please, Mark. I can't. I don't even want to read that. Look at his face. That's a man that's seen some things, according to Gleason. Dr. Bob's Nightmare. Urination. I don't want to put that up there either. I don't want to. No, thank you, Dr. Bob. How this commercial license coming along, Dr. Bob? Yeah. Oh, Dr. Bob doesn't want to hear that. You're beating the same old drum. You're going to need a bigger boat, Mark. Mark says, okay. Do all you options guys meet up in a hot tub or effing coma? What are option guys? I don't know what that means. Thoughts on the bookosphere? Oh, that's very, I think that's very real. I'd be very careful around that thing. Are you thinking that was recovered in Colombia? Oh, with no seams, and it was hot to the touch. It went by a power line and got shorted out. But I wouldn't want to be around that thing. And you try to open it with something like a laser, you may wish you hadn't. You know, I wouldn't get near that thing if that's what you're talking about. Oh, I think that's legit, really. But again, even if it's proved a fraud, that doesn't impact the UFO files that have been released. According to Espresso Racer, Michael Savage ate hot dogs with Trump. Okay. Hey, I wouldn't pass that up. Would you pass that up? I wouldn't pass that up. Okay, now, all right, since I'm doing the show, I just as well finish it now. We're into Jackie Gleason. I got to finish it. So now I've got to, how do I set this up? Okay, so we went through that. Now, there's Jackie, Mr. Gleason, sat down with a reporter back in the day, Frank Edwards, okay, on radio. And this is like 1958 or something, right? So that's a long time ago. And they mentioned there, Larry Warren is mentioned in this. So let me give you a little bio on Larry. Well, first of all, what about Frank Warren? Do I have anything on him? I got the audio, which I'm going to play for you. Told you the legend. Okay, here's the bio on Frank Edwards. All right, Frank Edwards. Now, this will be the guy on the radio program with him. Frank Allen, A-L-L-Y-N, Edwards, was an American radio and TV journalist, commentator, and later well-known UFO paranormal writer. He was born in Mattoon, Illinois, 1908, and began broadcasting very early in radio history, including work at KDKA in the 20s. In the late 40s and early 50s, Edwards worked for the Mutual Broadcasting System, first from Indianapolis and then from Washington, D.C. One biographical source describes him as broadcasting from Washington and remaining with Mutual until 1954. Another reference says he was white. Okay, blah, blah. Anyway, Edwards became especially important in UFO history because he began talking about flying saucers on his national radio program after the major post-1947 UFO wave. There was a wave of UFOs around Washington, D.C., if you don't realize that or not. His interest intensified after he encountered Donald Kehoe's article, Flying Saucers Are Real. He reportedly attended Air Force Base briefings on UFOs in the early 50s and kept discussing the subject publicly. Okay. That's okay. So now let's get to it. Hang on. I think I got that.
August 15th, 1950, Great Falls, Montana. Baseball coach Nick Mariana is out scouting a new ball field accompanied by his secretary. He's brought along a 16mm film camera, but what catches his eye isn't the field. It's in the sky above it. We zoom in and focus on what Mariana sees. The 11-second clip captures two silver objects appearing to fly in tandem across the Montana sky.
This video is particularly interesting to me, mainly because this was before satellites crowded our sky. So seeing some light traveling across the sky was a very unusual event.
Take a closer look. Are these illuminated orbs tic-tacs? Compare them to the Nimitz footage on the right. We know they're not an artifact in the film or a flaw in the camera lens because they move behind this water tower here.
What we're looking at here potentially could be the very first UFO video ever captured.
You think that's something? You're not going to believe the next one, 2005 ABC Las Vegas.
Well, let's take another trip back into the realm of paranormal tonight. Last night we had ghost hunters, now UFOs.
That's right, and there is a Las Vegas guy making an extraordinary claim about extraterrestrials. So we sent Action News reporter Mike Delastrito to check it out. Mike?
All right, guys, just listen up here. This guy says the Old Testament, written in Hebrew, taught him how to summon UFOs. All right, he says he can also do this on command, and he adds he's been doing it for 25 years, keeping all of it secret until now.
These beings are here. They are here. They're just sitting right up there.
We met up with Prophet Yahweh, seer of Yahweh, at Doolittle Park off Lake Mead. We picked the day, we picked the time, and we picked the location.
Everyone's going to think you're absolutely nuts.
Well, I thought I was absolutely nuts.
Until he says he saw UFOs. Over the years, 1,500 of them.
Can we make it 1,501 today? What do you think?
I'll try it.
He says the voice in his head told him to go public now. So we took him up on his offer, and we scanned the skies. Nothing but a few clouds. When the prophet started praying for a sighting, I wasn't exactly convinced.
I pray, oh Yahweh, that you send a sighting so that they know that I am not mentally ill. I am not a false prophet, like those who seek to kill me say I am.
I see something straight up.
Oh, brother, look at it. There it is.
You can barely see it, a white speck. Then another sighting.
There it is. I got it. I got it. I got it. I got it.
Photojournalist Jonathan Hawkins locks in on it. Let's take a cleaser look here. It's an orange sphere that appeared out of nowhere. I call the boss with an unexpected change in my story.
I can see it clear as day. In fact, it's bright.
I can't believe this.
It's moving pretty fast.
It's going to Nellis Air Force Base. It wants to be seen.
We called Nellis to see what these things might be. Guess what? They didn't call us back. But this thing started coming back toward us.
It's coming toward us now, I think.
What?
See, it's coming up toward us.
Whoa, man! Oh, hallelujah!
Then, a few seconds later, it disappeared.
It's going back up in space.
Prophet Yahweh isn't concerned. He says it'll be back. And I'm still not quite sure what those things were. Now, if I didn't see this for myself, I probably would have just laughed this whole thing off. Prophet Yahweh says, though, this is just the beginning. He says we're going to see a lot more of these things starting next week. And he says one will come down low enough for all of Las Vegas to see. Mike Delastrito, Channel 13 Action News.
Interesting. You know what? If anybody knows what that was, please call Mike Delastrito and identify that object.
So, Jerry, do you mind if we play the X-Files theme song while you do what?
Yeah, really.
Yeah, I don't think they're laughing now. UAP, unidentified flying aerial anomaly. Now, I believe in prayer. Now, am I going to go out and pray to see UFO? No. Believe it or not, I mean, that actually aired in 2005. Now, how strange is that? Hey, we got comments, all sorts of comments. And is another guy I think Gleason talked to about his relationship with Nixon. Let's see. Gleason said that President Nixon unexpectedly took him to Homestead Air Force Base in Florida. They drove to a remote, heavily guarded section of the base, entered a secure building. Gleason allegedly told Warren, this is Larry Warren, that security personnel seemed to recognize Nixon and stepped aside as they entered. Inside, Gleason said they passed through several laboratory-like areas. Nixon then supposedly showed him what was described as wreckage from a flying saucer, stored or enclosed in large cases. After that, they entered another chamber where Gleason claimed he saw several glass-top freezer containers holding small, damaged bodies. In Warren's retelling, Gleason described them as initially looking like children, but on closer inspection, seeming non-human, with some appearing old and badly mangled as if from a crash. Now, when I heard about this, if they still got the bodies, and we were in this new age of DNA, can't they, I wonder if they've sampled the DNA. They've got to run some tests on the DNA, right? You would think. You don't see how, you know, do they have DNA like we have DNA? Maybe different sequencing, but is it still, you know, carbon-based DNA? I don't, interesting. Let's see. And that is, here's a summary. Gleason allegedly told Larry Warren that Nixon personally escorted him to a secure area at Homestead Air Force Base where he saw saucer wreckage and preserved alien bodies, but the claim remains anecdotal. Okay, I believe it. I absolutely believe it. It's so strange. It's so strange that I believe it. All right. Well, the show has been salvaged somehow. I don't have to bump it. It pays to know people in high places. I mean, you'd have to tell somebody, right? And he told his second wife. It makes sense to me.
At any given time, there are around 1,500 aliens on the planet, most of them right here in Manhattan. And most of them are decent enough. They're just trying to make a living.
Cab drivers?
Not as many as you'd think. Humans, for the most part, don't have a clue. They don't want one or need one either. They're happy. They think they have a good bead on things.
Well, why the big secret? People are smart. They can handle it.
A person is smart. People are dumb, panicky, dangerous animals, and you know it. 1,500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was the center of the universe. 500 years ago, everybody knew the Earth was flat. And 15 minutes ago, you knew that people were alone on this planet. Imagine what you'll know tomorrow.
You will dress only in attire specially sanctioned by MIB Special Services. You'll conform to the identity we give you. Eat where we tell you, live where we tell you. From now on, you'll have no identifying marks of any kind. You will not stand out in any way. Your entire image is crafted to leave no lasting memory with anyone you encounter. You are a rumor, recognizable only as deja vu and dismissed just as quickly. You don't exist. You were never even born. Anonymity is your name. Silence your native tongue. You are no longer part of the system. You are above the system, over it, beyond it. We're them. We're they. We are the men in black.
Are we clear? Yes, sir. Are we clear? Crystal.
Now, there it is. That was yesterday's show. Sorry if I blew out anybody's ear yesterday. I played it back. It had to go. It had to go in the can. I had to cut it up. And so the beginning, it was how it should have sounded. I just have to remember, again, that the MP3 file, it's like the music. You got to turn it way, way down. So we do have some comments. Who stopped by? ADHD, never calling. Going after the boomers, or some smart-ass remark. Motion pictures, yes. Yeah, okay. By the way, No Bro Show is on 3:30 Eastern Time. We got Tanzil in the house. Jackie Gleason, pal, right in the kisser. Fly you to the moon, Alice. Now, listen to this. Tanzil Honeymooners was a favorite of my grandfather. For the record, I never saw it live, okay? It was reruns. We didn't get that live in Utah, all right? Planka stops by, says, "Hey, Docs." I say, "Hey, Planka," and 3 people watching. This is live. We are live. That previous was the clip from Saturday, but I had to do it over. It was just really bad video. Hey, look at that hedge. It's done. Beautiful day. 89 degrees. What is the weather? You know, people like to know the weather. I mean, you're in Florida. It's all about the weather, isn't it? Let's see, what do we got here? 85 and cloudy. No rain. No rain I got to run the sprinklers in the morning. No rain until Friday or Thursday. And then it may not even happen. Oh, what was that? Somebody's mowing the lawn next door. That's the rental unit on the north side there. 7 mile an hour wind. Humidity all the way down to 52%. So I had 1 day left on my landscaping, and I knocked it out, did the back of the hedge. It was great. Got that done, did the oleanders on the side, and then I did the front of the bird cage. So all ship shape, and no insects. I didn't get any bites. It was comfortable. It was 66 degrees in the morning. Here she comes again, getting closer. I can hear her. Now, there's a guy in his family who does the lawn, so I don't think they live there. It's a service. I see his boys out there. I guess his wife's helping him now, too. And let's see. So I got that done, ran up to, I invited my neighbor up to, he came back from his walk. We chatted a little bit. His wife's going to get her nose fixed. They're going to put her under and then straighten it. And they keep saying it's broken, but there's no bone in the nose. It's cartilage, but I guess to really straighten it out, it's going to hurt. So they're going to put her under and then straighten it. Or he told me there was 2 options, or do nothing. So I guess that's the decision. And I invited him up to Wawa, but he didn't want to go. All right, 3 people. So what else is going on? I went on the Save Our Homes calculator to see what I'd save on my taxes. They still have it set at $250,000 $100,000 for the exemption, but it's only 150,000. So hopefully they'll get that straightened out. And the governor hasn't really said anything. I mean, supermajority, both houses. It's going to be on the ballot. I'm going to vote for it unless he says something else, but I haven't heard. I'm kind of excited about it. It's going to hurt this fall because it'll be the largest bill I'm going to get since I've been here. And I missed the homestead in 2021. I told you that. So, you just got to pay it. And somebody said on the comments yesterday that show's been removed because it's just too. I can't have it up. I'm surprised it got 100 views because it's so loud. I mean, you couldn't even understand it. So I played it back at the beginning. If you want to hear Jackie talking to Edwards. Oh, what do we got there? The guy's got a red flag. That must be is that the course guy? Right about there is where that lightning strike hit. Just lit up everything. Scared the hell out of me. No comments? 3 people. 3 people hanging in there. What else is... it embarrasses me that some people listen to this while they're working. It's like we're in their car. I don't know if Jax is going to have a show tonight or not. That I don't know. If Dr. Bob is listening, he can put something in the comments. What else have we got? Well, don't really have anything. I told you I've got a new homeowner's insurance, and I paid them. You have to pay up front. Then why do I get another bill? Is it really from them? Well, I guess I got to call them up. I don't know why I have to. Do they want the full amount? That makes no sense. I got to call them. Makes no sense. Unless this is, a bill has been generated for your policy. And maybe there's just one of these automatic things. But I paid up front. I put it on my Apple Card, so I'm not paying anything until I'll look at my receipt and give them a call. Other than that, what's going on in the world? Any questions? Let's see. Yeah, I got a lot of rhinos in the Republican Party. That's true. Oh. I'll never vote for him. Oh, now here's the weather that I want to look at. How come I can't pull that up? The Weather Channel, here we go. 85 degrees, currently 85 degrees Fahrenheit. That would be 29 degrees Celsius. Humidity 54%, wind 11 kilometers per hour, and wind 7 miles per hour. I'll have to remember that website. I'll just have to scroll down. 4 people. Well, we gained a person. The market's down. I never read why, but it got up to, oh man, it got as high as I follow the S&P. How high did it go, Docs? It got to 7610, which is 11.16% since the first of the year. So that's the benchmark. I mean, that'd be great. I mean, 11.16%, great. But, it goes up, it goes down. The investor rides it out, right? Be the turtle, be the tortoise, not the hare. Steady as she goes. Keep investing. I'm just going through X here. I kind of, there's a big unrest in the UK. I really don't understand it, but I don't know if I really want to dig deep into it. The guy was knifed and they handcuffed him, and he's dying, and it's just terrible. But I could research it later. All right, I'm just going to hang out. I'm going to try to do an hour and a half. I'll be here. Again, New Bro Show will be 3:30 Eastern.
The Jackie Gleason.
Jackie Gleason's amazing. I met a guy who
Nixon thing is wild.
Oh, absolutely. And Jackie Gleason told my buddy Jeff Sagansky, don't listen to what anyone ever tells you. I had 100% confirmation these things exist. He didn't say that the President Nixon drove me out to a base in Florida, but he told him, don't listen to anybody who says I know for a fact these things exist. That was really cool.